Life isn't a fairy tale, folks. It's more like a chaotic battlefield. And guess what? Your emotions? They're the enemy, commander. One minute they're your best friend, hyping you up to conquer the world. The next, they're sabotaging your every move, whispering doubts, fueling overthinking, and luring you into procrastination like it's a cozy blanket. Marcus Aurelius, the man who ruled the Roman Empire while mastering Stoic principles, knew this truth better than anyone. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Let's be real, most people let their emotions run the show. You know the type. They flinch when life gets tough, stew over imaginary scenarios, or spend hours scrolling social media while their dreams gather dust. Sound familiar? Well, that stops today. You're here for a reason, to learn the harsh but empowering truths of Stoicism. These are not gentle suggestions. These are ironclad rules to rip those emotional chains off your soul and get you acting with clarity and purpose. Now, before we dive into these life-changing lessons, a quick thank you to all of you who've subscribed to this channel. If you're new here, welcome to the tribe. And for my longtime viewers, smash that like button and drop a comment below. I want to hear how Stoicism is shaping your life. All right, enough chit-chat. Let's cut through the noise and get straight to it, because excuses, they've got no place here. Let's go. 1. Discipline is freedom. Freedom? You think it's some magical state where you get to do whatever you want, whenever you want? Wrong. Real freedom doesn't come from lounging on your couch waiting for motivation to bless you. It doesn't come from indulging your feelings. It comes from discipline. Cold and calculated. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, didn't rule an empire because he felt inspired every morning. He ruled because he woke up, ignored his excuses, and got to work. That's discipline. That's freedom. Let me guess, you've told yourself the same excuses I've told myself. I'm too tired. I'll start tomorrow. I just don't feel ready. I used to be the king of excuses. I remember one particularly pathetic morning when I hit snooze so many times I ended up missing an important meeting. My boss tore into me like I was an incompetent child, and honestly, I deserved it. I had no control over myself. That day I realized something. My feelings were my prison warden, and I was willingly letting them run my life. The Stoics knew better. They knew feelings are like bratty kids, loud, annoying, and completely unreliable. Marcus Aurelius didn't sugarcoat it. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Translation? Stop listening to your emotions and start listening to your reason. You want freedom? Earn it by taking control of yourself. Here's the deal. Your feelings don't matter. Period. Whether you're tired, scared, or bored, none of it is relevant. You think Marcus Aurelius cared about his mood when he had to make life or death decisions for an empire? No. He acted because it was his duty. And guess what? You've got a duty too, to yourself. Let's make it simple. Start small. Set your alarm for 5 a.m., get your lazy ass out of bed, and actually follow through with one thing today. Just one. It doesn't have to be monumental. Clean your desk, go for a run, or even just fold that mountain of laundry you've been ignoring for weeks. Every time you follow through, you're reinforcing your discipline muscle. And trust me, it's a muscle that grows stronger every time you use it. But let's not kid ourselves. Discipline isn't sexy. It's not glamorous or Instagram-worthy. It's gritty, uncomfortable, and often boring. But it's also the only path to real freedom. Without it, you're a slave to your whims and feelings, blowing wherever the wind of emotion takes you. With it, you're unshakable. You do what needs to be done, no matter what. So stop waiting for motivation. It's not coming. Get up, take control, and show your emotions who's boss. Discipline isn't just your ticket to freedom. It's your declaration of independence. Because let's face it, freedom isn't about doing what you feel like. It's about doing what you need to do, even when you don't want to. That's the kind of freedom that changes lives. Starting with yours. Now go. Take the first step. No excuses, no feelings, just action. 2. Stop delaying and start doing procrastination. You know it. I know it. That seductive little voice that tells you, you'll get to it tomorrow. Newsflash, tomorrow never comes for people who keep putting things off. Marcus Aurelius didn't sit around waiting for the perfect moment to lead Rome or fight battles. He didn't have the luxury of procrastination. And guess what? Neither do you. Here's the brutal truth. Every second you waste is a second stolen from your potential. You're not lazy because you don't care. You're lazy because it's easier. Easier to scroll TikTok, easier to watch just one more episode, easier to let another day pass without doing the damn thing. But ease is the enemy. Marcus Aurelius said it best, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Translation? Stop wasting time. Death isn't waiting, so why are you? I used to be the king of procrastination. In college, I had a final paper due at 8 a.m. Guess when I started it? Midnight. I spent the first hour convincing myself I'd pull off a miracle, the second hour Googling how to write an essay in 3 hours, and the next 4 hours panic typing absolute garbage. By the time I hit submit, I was a zombie. The professor gave me a pity C, and I thought, wow, dodged a bullet. But did I? My half-assed effort wasn't just embarrassing, it set a standard. Procrastination became my default mode, and it held me back for years. You want to know what broke that cycle? Realizing I was running out of time. No, not in some melodramatic, I saw the light way. I just woke up one day, looked in the mirror, and thought, how much longer are you going to waste your life? The answer? Not a second more. Here's the thing. Procrastination isn't about laziness. It's fear dressed up in cozy sweatpants, fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of hard work. But the Stoics knew fear is just an illusion. It's your mind playing tricks on you. Epictetus once said, don't let the force of an impression when it first hits you knock you off your feet. Say to it, hold on a moment, let me see who you are and what you represent. When you feel the pull of procrastination, stop and interrogate it. Why are you delaying? What are you afraid of? The cure to procrastination is simple, but not easy. Act now. Don't wait until you feel ready, you won't. Don't wait for inspiration, it's overrated. Do one small thing. Open the document. Write the first sentence. Put on your running shoes. Action is like a snowball. Once it starts rolling, it builds momentum. And let's be real, waiting for the perfect time is a joke. Life is messy. You'll never have the perfect conditions, so stop holding out for them. Do you think Marcus Aurelius led Rome in ideal circumstances? Hell no. He led during wars, plagues, and political chaos. But he acted because he knew the stakes. So here's the challenge. Next time you catch yourself delaying, ask yourself this. What if this was my last chance to act? Because one day it will be. And if that doesn't light a fire under you, nothing will. Stop kidding yourself. Procrastination is robbing you blind, stealing your potential, and handing you regret on a silver platter. You don't need another day, another plan, or another excuse. You need to act. Now. Because tomorrow isn't promised, and you're running out of time. Now go. Get up, start. No more delays, no more excuses, just action. Your future self will thank you or hate you. The choice is yours. 3. Make good habits a habit. Here's the hard truth. Your life isn't a result of your goals or dreams. It's a reflection of your habits. Every single thing you do or don't do stems from those daily routines you think are no big deal. Let me tell you something. They are a big deal. Marcus Aurelius didn't become the symbol of Stoic wisdom by sheer luck. He practiced every single day to align his actions with his principles. He knew that excellence isn't achieved by accident. It's built habit by habit. But let's be honest, most of us have terrible habits. You scroll Instagram for hours, tell yourself it's just to relax, and then wonder why you feel like garbage by the end of the day. You eat junk food, skip workouts, and justify it with, I'll start fresh on Monday. Spoiler alert, Monday never comes. You're stuck in the same loop, pretending it's fine when deep down you know it's not. I'll give you a personal example. There was a time in my life when I couldn't stick to a morning routine to save my life. Every morning started with hitting the snooze button 5 times, then scrolling aimlessly on my phone while chugging down coffee like it was life support. I'd tell myself, you're just easing into the day. No. I wasn't easing into anything. I was procrastinating again. By the time I actually started working, half the day was gone, and so was my energy. One day, I decided enough was enough. I set one goal. Wake up at the same time every day and spend 10 minutes writing in a journal. Just 10 minutes. It felt like a joke at first. But you know what? That one habit changed everything. Writing every morning helped me organize my thoughts, plan my day, and clear my mind of the emotional clutter. Soon, 10 minutes turned into 20. Then I started adding other habits. reading a few pages of a book, stretching, eating a real breakfast. Before I knew it, I had a morning routine that set the tone for my entire day. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." You can't control every situation, but you can control your habits. And those habits will determine whether you conquer the day or let it crush you. Here's the key. Start small. Don't try to overhaul your entire life overnight. It won't work. Pick one habit and commit to it like your life depends on it. Because guess what? It does. Want to read more? Start with 1 page a day. Want to exercise? Do 5 push-ups. It's not about the intensity, it's about the consistency. Good habits are like seeds. They don't grow into towering trees overnight, but if you water them daily, they'll flourish. The Stoics knew this. Epictetus said, "The more we practice, the more we improve." Excellence is an art won by training and habituation. So train yourself. Every time you repeat a good habit, you're reinforcing a better version of yourself. And let's not forget the humor in all this. Habits are basically your brain being lazy. That's right. Your brain loves autopilot. It doesn't care if the habit is good or bad. It just wants to conserve energy. So if you're going to be on autopilot anyway, why not program it to work in your favor? Let me be blunt. Your bad habits are killing your potential. That 30 minutes on TikTok? That's a lost opportunity to learn something new. The junk food binge? That's energy you'll never get back. You don't need motivation. You need discipline to build habits that serve you, not sabotage you. So here's your challenge. Pick one habit. Just one. Start today, not tomorrow, because tomorrow is just another excuse. Track it, commit to it, and don't give yourself an out. Soon it won't feel like a chore. It'll be who you are. And that's the goal, isn't it? To become the person you've always wanted to be? Stop kidding yourself. Your life is shaped by what you do repeatedly, not by what you occasionally think about. Make good habits a habit, and watch how fast your life transforms. The choice is yours. Keep making excuses, or start making progress. Which will it be? My resilient Stoic warriors, we've reached the halfway mark of this video. If you're still here, it means these lessons are striking a chord deep within you. It shows that you're ready to break free from the grip of emotions and take decisive action in your life. Now, if you haven't already smashed that like button or hit subscribe, this is your moment. Your support is the driving force that fuels us to deliver more powerful and transformative content like this. Let's keep this momentum alive together. And here's a challenge for you. Drop the phrase "decisive action begins now" in the comments below. This isn't just a phrase, it's a bold declaration. It's you committing to the path of self-mastery and showing the world that you're not here to hesitate, but to act. Let it be a reminder that today, you've chosen to conquer, and tomorrow you'll rise even stronger. Affirm it, own it, and watch how the universe aligns to propel you forward. 4. Turn challenges into opportunities. Life isn't out to coddle you, it's here to break you. Challenges, obstacles, and setbacks, they're part of the deal. But let me tell you something. How you respond to them will define the course of your life. Marcus Aurelius, who faced betrayal, wars, and plagues, didn't cry about it. He said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." So stop whining about your obstacles. They aren't here to destroy you. They're here to build you. Let me paint you a picture. A few years back, I hit rock bottom. My business was failing, my relationships were crumbling, and I was drowning in self-pity. I thought the universe was out to get me. Every problem felt like a mountain I couldn't climb. I was stuck in this loop of why me? Until one day, I stumbled across Marcus Aurelius's words. They hit me like a slap in the face. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That's when it clicked. The universe wasn't against me. I was against myself. My failures weren't the problem. My refusal to face them was. So I made a choice. I stopped running. Instead of viewing my challenges as curses, I started treating them as opportunities to grow. That decision changed my life. Here's the deal. Life is going to throw crap at you. That's inevitable. But sitting there, wallowing in your misfortune, doesn't make you a victim, it makes you complicit. The Stoics didn't have time for excuses, and neither do you. Epictetus said it best. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Did you lose your job? Good. It's a chance to rethink your career. Did your partner leave you? Great. Now you can learn to stand on your own 2 feet. Every obstacle is a test of your character. Will you rise or will you break? Now, I'm not saying it'll be easy. Growth never is. But here's the kicker. The pain you feel now? It's temporary. The strength you'll gain from it? Permanent. Think about a muscle. It only grows when it's torn apart and rebuilt stronger. Your mind works the same way. Marcus Aurelius didn't rule Rome with soft hands and gentle words. He faced hardships head-on and turned them into stepping stones. That's the mindset you need to adopt. See every setback as a lesson. Let every failure teach you. Pain is just another teacher, and honestly, it's the best one you'll ever have. Here's a little humor for you. Life's challenges are like going to the gym. You think it's going to kill you, but in reality, it's just making you stronger. Unless you skip leg day. Don't skip leg day, metaphorically or literally. Your challenges are your leg day, painful but necessary. If you're still sitting there thinking, this is too much for me, let me remind you, you've survived 100% of your worst days. You're still here. That means you're tougher than you think. So stop running from your problems, turn around, face them, and fight. It's not about winning every battle. It's about showing up every single time, no matter how hard it gets. That's what builds character. That's what turns challenges into opportunities. So here's your challenge. The next time life throws you a curveball, don't flinch. Embrace it. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? Stop blaming the world for your problems and start using them as fuel. Because let's be real, the world doesn't owe you anything, but it's giving you the tools to shape yourself into someone extraordinary. The question is, will you use them or will you waste them? The choice is yours. Whine about your problems or turn them into power. Your future self is watching. Don't let them down. 5. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. You're waiting, aren't you? Waiting for the stars to align, for the perfect moment, for some cosmic sign to tell you, now is the time. Let me give it to you straight. That moment doesn't exist. Marcus Aurelius didn't wait for the perfect moment to rule an empire. He faced plagues, wars, and political chaos head-on because he knew one truth. The present moment is all you have. Waiting is just an elegant form of procrastination. Here's the cold, hard truth. Perfection is a fantasy. It's a crutch for the fearful. You sit there, convincing yourself, I'll start when I'm ready, when things are ideal. Newsflash, life will never hand you perfect conditions on a silver platter. The Stoics knew this. They didn't waste time dreaming about ideal scenarios. They acted, imperfectly, messily, but effectively. I used to be that person, endlessly polishing every detail before taking action. I told myself I wasn't procrastinating, I was preparing. One day, a mentor called me out. You're not waiting for perfection, you're avoiding failure. It stung because it was true. I realized I was afraid to start because starting meant risking mistakes. But mistakes are how we grow. They're not the enemy, they're the path. Here's what most people won't tell you. Every excuse you make is a lie you tell yourself. You don't have time? You make time for Netflix. You don't have the skills? You have the internet? You're waiting for the right mood? Good luck, it's not coming. Waiting doesn't make you ready. Action does. Marcus Aurelius said, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Read that again. You're not guaranteed tomorrow. Are you really going to waste today waiting for some mythical perfect moment? I'll never forget the day I had to give my first public speech. I was terrified. My palms were sweaty. My mind raced with what ifs. What if I forget my words? What if they laugh? What if I fail? My anxiety told me to wait for a better time, maybe when I felt more confident. But you know what? That better time was a mirage. The only way forward was through. I stepped onto that stage, stumbled over a few words, but guess what? Nobody cared. They clapped, and I walked away stronger. That's the thing. You think people are waiting to judge your imperfections, but the truth is, they're too busy dealing with their own. The only one holding you back is you. Waiting for the perfect moment is like waiting for your Uber driver to magically know your exact location without dropping a pin. It's not going to happen, my friend. Life needs directions and action. You're never going to feel completely ready. The conditions will never be perfect. Start anyway. That blog you've been wanting to write? Open the laptop and type. That fitness goal? Drop and give me 10 right now. Waiting is a silent killer of dreams. Every second you delay is a second stolen from your future self. Epictetus nailed it. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Stop overthinking. Decide who you want to be and take the damn step. Here's your challenge. Do one thing you've been postponing. Right now. Write that email, make that phone call, take that walk, hit publish on that project. It doesn't matter if it's messy or imperfect. Just act. Because while you're sitting there waiting for perfection, someone else is out there doing the work, getting the results. So what's it going to be? Wait and wonder what if, or act and find out. Remember, hesitation is the death of opportunity. Choose wisely. 6. Crush your excuses. Take responsibility. You've been lying to yourself. Yes, I said it. You're full of excuses, crafty little justifications for why you can't get your life together. You blame your circumstances, your past, your boss, the weather, Mercury in retrograde, anything but yourself. But here's the harsh truth. No one cares about your excuses. Marcus Aurelius didn't write his meditations so you could sit around feeling sorry for yourself. He wrote them to remind you that you control your mind, your actions, and ultimately your life. So stop pretending you're a victim of your circumstances. Take responsibility. Own your life. That's what the Stoics demand, and that's what you owe yourself. Let's face it, excuses are easy. They're like a warm blanket on a cold day, comforting, but they keep you stuck. I don't have time. I'm not ready. What if I fail? Do you know what Marcus Aurelius would say to those excuses? Get over yourself. Life isn't waiting for you to feel ready. It's moving on, and if you don't step up, you'll be left behind. Imagine this. Marcus Aurelius didn't exactly live in a stress-free world. He ruled an empire, faced plagues, wars, and betrayals, and still found time to reflect, write, and lead with purpose. Do you think he sat around whining about how unfair life was? No, because he understood this simple truth. Your excuses are just distractions from the hard work you need to do. Let me tell you about a time I let excuses run my life. I used to tell myself I couldn't start my passion project because I didn't have the right equipment or enough time. I'd scroll through Instagram, envying people who were doing the very things I wanted to do, all while sinking deeper into my own pity party. One day, a friend called me out. He said, "You're not stuck. You're just scared of failing." That hit me like a punch to the gut. He was right. I was hiding behind excuses because taking action meant risking failure, and failure terrified me. That day, I decided to stop whining and start working. I didn't have all the tools I thought I needed, but I started anyway. And guess what? The excuses started to fade, and progress took their place. Excuses are like bad roommates. They make a mess of your life, eat all your snacks, and refuse to pay rent. The only way to deal with them is to kick them out. Call yourself out. Be brutally honest. Write down your excuses and ask yourself, is this a real obstacle, or am I just scared? Start before you're ready. Newsflash, you'll never feel 100% prepared. The Stoics didn't wait for perfect conditions, and neither should you. Break it down. Big goals are intimidating. Break them into tiny, actionable steps. You're not climbing Everest today, you're just taking one step. Find accountability. Tell someone your goal and let them hold you accountable. Bonus points if they're the kind of person who won't let you off the hook. Replace excuses with action. Every time you catch yourself making an excuse, do one small thing toward your goal. Too tired to work out? Do 10 push-ups. No time to read? Listen to an audiobook while you drive. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Think about that. Life isn't going to hand you success on a silver platter. It's going to test you, push you, and sometimes beat you down. But every excuse you make is a missed opportunity to rise above. The Stoics believed in radical responsibility, taking ownership of your thoughts, your actions, and your outcomes. When you stop blaming external factors, you reclaim your power. You stop being a victim and start becoming the architect of your life. Here's what you're going to do today. Pick one excuse that's been holding you back. Just one. Write it down. Then, write the first step you can take to crush that excuse. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to start. Remember, your excuses aren't protecting you. They're robbing you of the life you deserve. Marcus Aurelius didn't let plagues and political chaos stop him. Don't let fear and laziness stop you. Excuses are your enemy. They disguise themselves as valid reasons, but they're nothing more than chains holding you down. Break free. Take responsibility. Act decisively. The world doesn't owe you anything, but you owe yourself everything. So stop making excuses and start making moves. The Stoics didn't achieve greatness by waiting for the perfect moment, and neither will you. The time to act is now. Don't let another day slip away while you wallow in what-ifs. Stand up, face your fears, and crush your excuses with the same ruthless determination Marcus Aurelius used to rule an empire. You've got this. Now, prove it. 7. Simplify or suffer. The Stoic call to clarity. Let's cut the fluff. Your life is a mess because you're dragging around mental and physical clutter like a pack mule. You think you need more time, more tools, more everything. But here's the truth. You don't need more. You need less. Marcus Aurelius, a man who could have drowned in his empire's luxuries, chose simplicity. He believed that shedding the unnecessary made space for what truly mattered: clarity, purpose, and action. So here's your choice. Simplify your life or continue drowning in chaos. It's harsh, but you need to hear it. Life isn't going to slow down for you to organize yourself. Either you grab the reins or get trampled. Let's talk about that clutter: physical, mental, and emotional. Your house might look like a storage unit exploded. Your calendar is crammed with meetings you hate and obligations you don't even remember agreeing to. And your mind? It's a noisy carnival of overthinking, regrets, and endless comparisons on social media. Sound familiar? That's because you're overloading yourself with everything except what matters. Marcus Aurelius would have said, strip away the inessentials. Not because it's trendy, but because the more you focus on what you truly need, the less time you waste on what doesn't matter. Here's my story. A few years ago, I was the king of clutter, hoarding old gadgets, cramming my schedule with meaningless tasks, and constantly scrolling through social media, comparing my life to others. I was overwhelmed and frustrated. One day, I sat down to work on a project I cared about, only to realize I had no mental energy left to think clearly. The noise of my life drowned out any sense of focus or creativity. That night, I hit a breaking point. I grabbed a trash bag and started tossing out everything that didn't serve a purpose. Clothes I hadn't worn in years? Gone. Old files and random gadgets? Gone. I even deleted social media apps and cut down my calendar to the essentials. The next morning I felt something I hadn't felt in years: peace. You're like a squirrel hoarding nuts for a winter that'll never come. Let me break it to you. You're not preparing for survival. You're preparing for stress. The more junk you hold on to, the more space it takes in your head. And no, you're not going to read those 12 self-help books you've been stacking on your bedside table. Toss them, or better yet, donate them and help someone else overthink. Declutter your space. Start with your physical environment. If you haven't used something in 6 months, chances are you never will. Donate, sell, or throw it away. Clean space equals clear mind. Clear your calendar. Learn the power of saying no. If it doesn't align with your values or goals, don't do it. Guard your time like it's gold, because it is. Unplug your mind. Social media isn't helping you. It's feeding your insecurities and stealing your time. Delete apps that don't serve a purpose. Limit your screen time. Remember, Marcus Aurelius didn't need Instagram to conquer his empire. Define your priorities. Write down the 3 things that matter most to you. Every decision you make should align with those priorities. If it doesn't, cut it out. Simplify your goals. Stop trying to do everything at once. Focus on one goal at a time. You can't hit a target if you're aiming at 10. Simplicity isn't about deprivation, it's about liberation. Epictetus said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." Let that sink in. The less you need, the more freedom you have. When you strip away the excess, you're left with clarity and focus, the very tools you need to act decisively. The Stoics believed that simplicity was the key to living a life of purpose. When you remove distractions, you see what's truly important. You act, not out of confusion, but with precision. Here's your task. Pick one area of your life to simplify: your workspace, your schedule, or your social media habits. Spend an hour today clearing out the junk. Yes, today. Don't overthink it, just do it. The freedom you'll feel afterward is worth more than any excuse you could come up with. Your life is cluttered because you've allowed it to be. But you can change that. Simplify or suffer, that's your choice. When you simplify, you make room for what matters. You gain clarity, focus, and the ability to act with purpose. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire and still made time for simplicity. You can't manage your emails and expect sympathy? Please, it's time to cut the noise, clear the clutter, and take control. Simplify your life or watch it spiral into chaos. Your move. Prove the Stoics right. Show the world and yourself that you can break free from the grip of emotions and act decisively. Simplify, act, thrive. Thank you for watching the entire video. If you've made it to this point, it's a clear sign that this video was meant for you. It means you're ready to break free from the chains of hesitation and start acting with purpose. But if you haven't subscribed or liked this video yet, what are you waiting for? Don't let this moment slip away. Take action now. Drop a comment below with the phrase, "I choose clarity over chaos," to show that you're committed to simplifying your life and embracing the Stoic path. Remember, this isn't just a comment. It's a declaration of your intent to take control and live decisively. Your journey doesn't end here. It begins. Stay strong, stay stoic, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you for being part of this amazing community. Let's keep growing together.